Okay, welcome back to another video on complex numbers. So you might be able to guess, the first video was an intro, the second was on adding and subtracting, the third is going to be on multiplication. Next video we're going to look at division. But okay, so multiplying complex numbers. So the first example we're going to look at is z is equal to 10 minus 2i. Okay, so we're going to look at what happens when you multiply a real number. No, I'm going to use a different color, which is 5. So you can hear me saying real and imaginary. Real is just anything that doesn't have I in it. So 5, for example, doesn't have an I, 10 doesn't have an I, 2i does have an I said I, so that means it's imaginary. Okay, so a real number multiplied by a complex number, and we'll stick with the red here, 5 by z. Okay, so this is going to be equal to, I'm going to go back to green, so just 5z is the same thing as saying 5 multiplied by z is equal to 5 multiplied by 10 minus 2i, because that's what z is. Okay, so the brackets obviously mean multiplication. That's going to be equal to 50 minus 10i. So you just multiply the 5 by each one. Okay, and it doesn't change the I still stays there. It's just 5 by the 10 is 50, and 5 by the minus 2 is minus 10. Okay, so that's our first example. Next one is, scroll down a little bit, draw a line. There's blue in here. Okay, next one we're going to look at something a bit different. It's going to be z is equal to 4 plus I. Okay, and I just means one I on its own, yeah? So you can write a 1 if you want beforehand, but you don't need to. It's like writing 1 before x. You generally don't do it, just write I on its own. Okay, we're going to look at what happens when we multiply z times I, okay? So you might get, it might be written like iz, like that. Okay, and that's the same thing as just saying I multiplied by z, yeah? Again, when you write something beside each other, I'm just going to change colour for the maths. If you write it all in one colour, it just looks crap, so I'm going to try and change it up as much as possible. I multiplied by 4 plus I. Okay, so this is going to be equal to 4i. Okay, so 4 multiplied by I is going to be 4i plus I squared. Because you multiply anything by itself, it's I squared. So I by I is going to be I squared. Okay, so do you remember anything about I squared? I said it in the first video. I'm just going to write the little dots here. I squared is equal to minus 1. And they might say that at the start of the question in a textbook. Okay, so I squared here is going to be equal to minus 1. So I'm not going to change color. I'm going to go 4i minus 1. Yeah, and then I'm just going to rewrite that as minus 1 plus 4i, just because normally it's written like the real number than the complex number. So does that all make sense? Is it? So that's basically it. Just have to be careful when you're multiplying anything by I, and we'll see in the next example, if you multiply I by I, you get I squared. Okay, I'm actually going to have to erase some of this, so bear with me. Hopefully, yeah, loads of space there. Go back to red. 3. Okay, third example. So we have z1 is going to be equal to 2 minus 7i, and z2 is going to be equal to 3 plus 7i. Okay, and I'll change to yellow for the question. So we're going to multiply these two complex numbers by each other. This is the kind of thing you're going to see more in the exam than the other two, but we have to go through the first two ones, the basics first. So z1, z2 is the same thing as saying z1 times z2, which is equal to 2 minus 7i multiplied by 3 plus 7i. So it's kind of like when you're multiplying out brackets in algebra just with x's. So it's the same thing except it's just with i's. Okay, hopefully I have enough space here. I'll stick with the yellow anyway. Equal to, so you're going to multiply the 2 by each term in this bracket, and then you're going to multiply the minus 7i by each term in this bracket. So start with the 2. 2 by 3 is going to be equal to 6, and now 2 by plus 7i is going to be plus 14i. Okay, now minus 7i multiplied by this bracket, so minus 7i by 3 is going to be minus 21i, and minus 7i by plus 7i is going to be minus 49i squared. Okay, that all makes sense? Ooh, that'll be tight for space. Okay, so I'm actually just going to draw a little arrow up here. So never, I know I'm doing this now, but never do this in an exam, okay? Drawing arrows anywhere is not good, or even in your homework. This is really messy. It's just because I'm on a blackboard and I'm allowed to do it, basically, okay? So remember that I squared is equal to minus 1. So minus 49 multiplied by, give me a second, minus 49 multiplied by, okay, not sure what's happening here with the thing here, but it's a lot, the quality isn't as good here. I'll fix that for the next video, sorry about that. I just don't want to stop now, I'll have to redo the whole video. So I squared is equal to minus 1. So 49 I squared is the same thing as minus 49 I squared is the same thing as minus 49 by minus 1. Yeah, because I squared is the same thing as minus 1, and minus 49 by minus 1 is equal to plus 49. Yeah, I'll have to fix that quality. Anyway, so now instead of this, okay, so I'm not going to have space to write it, we're going to imagine plus 49. So down at the last line here, we're going to have 6 plus 49, okay, which is going to be 55. And then here we're going to have 14i minus 21i, which is going to be minus 7i. So that's what we're left with. That's what our answer is, okay? And just notice that the answer itself is a complex number, because this I squared here is going to disappear, so it won't be a complex number anymore. It changes from something that was complex to something that's real. But this I in the middle will always, it'll stay real, yeah, it'll stay complex. Sorry, it'll stay imaginary. So yeah, hopefully that helped. That's the whole video. You can go back and check the other examples, just because I erased that one, but hope this helped.